A list of everything brilliant about the world. Everything worth living for. Number 1.
Ice cream.
Number 2.
Water fights.
3.
Staying up past your bedtime and being allowed to watch TV.
4.
The color yellow.
5.
Things with stripes.
6.
Roller coasters.
7. People falling over. All things that at 7 I thought were really good, but not necessarily things my mom would agree with. I started the list on the 9th of November, 2010. It's dark and it's late, and all the other kids had gone home long ago. Eventually, my dad pulls up. I'm gonna ask you to be my dad, if that's okay. You don't have to do much, you're just gonna sit right here on this bench. Now, normally it's my mom who picks me up, and normally she's on time. Normally I travel in the back of the car because I'm 7 and I make things sticky. But this time, it's Dad. And he's late. And he opens the door to the front passenger seat. He looks at me. I look at him. When something bad happens, your body feels it before your brain can understand what's happening. Eventually, I got into the car. Now, actually what's going to happen is I'm going to be playing my dad, and you're going to be me as a 7-year-old. You still don't have to do much. All you have to do is say why after everything I say. Okay? Okay. Put on your seatbelt. Why? Because cars can be dangerous. Why? Because just put your seatbelt on. Why? Because we're going to the hospital. Why? Because that's where your mother is. Why? Because she hurt herself? Why? Because she's sad. Why? I don't know. Why? I just don't. Will you just put your seatbelt on? Why? Because your mother is in the hospital. Why? Because she can't find anything worth living for. Now, that's what I like to think happened, but we actually just sat in silence. The only thing he said to me was,
"Your mother's done something stupid."
I didn't know what that meant. Thank you so much. Take a seat. Number 1.
Ice cream.
The younger me had dealt with this so much better. She wasn't self-righteous. The younger me was hopeful. Naive, of course, but hopeful. 315. The smell of old books. 316.
Andre Agassi.
317.
The even-numbered Star Trek films.
318.
Burning things.
319.
Laughing so hard you shoot milk out of your nose.
320.
Making up after an argument.
The next morning, I sat at the end of Mom's bed and read the list aloud to her. And she got up and left the room. So I followed her and read louder. 516.
Winning something.
517.
Knowing someone well enough to get them to check your teeth for broccoli.
I became more inventive, writing on the inside of cereal packets or shoes, scratching on the outside of fruit, or rearranging fridge magnets. 601.
Hammocks.
Inside the lid of some mustard. 624.
Nina Simone's voice.
It was my aim to reach 1,000. And I couldn't cheat, which meant no repetition. Things had to be genuinely wonderful and life-affirming, and not too many material items. 761.
Deciding you're not too old to climb trees.
823.
Skinny dipping.
And then, the week before I left for university, 994.
Hairdressers that listen to what you want.
995.
Bubble wrap.
996.
Really good oranges.
It's common for the children of suicides to blame themselves. It's natural. 999.
Sunlight.
However much you know that you're not to blame, you can't help feeling like you failed them. It's not fair to feel this way, but it's natural. In the week after I left university, I sent her the list. When I returned home that Christmas, I found it on my desk, neatly folded back into its envelope. Still don't know whether or not she had read it. Certainly hadn't changed her outlook. I put the list in the pages of a favorite book, and I forgot about it. I was quite shy at university. If I wasn't listening to records, I would sit and read. I didn't socialize. Until I locked eyes with the only other person who was always in the library. For weeks, we would sit opposite each other without speaking. Occasionally, we'd make eye contact and then look away immediately as if blinded by the sun. For the first time in my life, I understood the lyrics to pop songs. Finally, after weeks, I gathered up the courage to say hello. Any broccoli? Anybody? Can I move you? Just right. Perfect. Thank you so much. Hi. Anyone sitting here? Hi. What's your name? Gracie. Oh, sorry. In real life, her name was Sam. Sam. Nice to meet you, Sam. What are you reading? I forgot. We're in the library, so we need a couple books. Check your bags. Anybody bring a book with them? That's okay. I come prepared. It is so nice to meet you, Sam. What are you reading?
Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine.
Oh, that sounds good. What's it about?
She struggles with approaching social skills and tends to say exactly what she's thinking.
That sounds really good. I'm reading Bitter in the Mouth, and it's the prophetic last words that Linda Hamrick's grandmother says to her. It's actually really good. Why don't I lend it to you? And I could read Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine, and maybe we could meet up sometime and talk about them, like over coffee or tea or like orange juice or like whatever you think would maybe, if you think that's a good idea, I mean, if you think, I have a date! We began to meet up in the library. We'd swap books and then talk about them over coffee. I think I learned more from the books Sam gave me than from any of my classes. Then, after a few weeks of meeting and reading and trying not to look at each other, Sam returned a book to me. One of my favorites from childhood. And she said, really interesting read.
Really interesting read.
There's something really interesting in this book
There's something really interesting in this book
that I want you to read.
that I want you to read.
Now, this confused me because I'd already read the book. I'd lent it to her. And, of course, because I'm an idiot, I didn't realize that it was code until a few weeks later when the list dropped out. I was mortified. Never told anyone about my mom. Ever. And the idea that a list of nice things could combat hardwired depression was embarrassingly naive. I got so upset I went to rip it up, and then I noticed someone else's handwriting. Number 1000.
When someone lends you a book,
1001.
when someone actually reads the books you give them,
1002.
when you learn something about someone that surprises you, but which makes complete sense.
1003.
Realizing that for the first time in your life, someone is occupying your every waking thought, making it hard to eat or sleep or concentrate, and then they feel familiar to you even though they're brand new.
1004.
Finding an opportunity to say this in a way which doesn't involve being in the same room at the same time, as we're both shy and terrified of rejection, and if I don't say something now, it'll never happen.
1005.
Writing about yourself in the third person.
I have some advice for anyone who's been contemplating suicide. It's really simple advice. It's this. Don't do it. Things get better. They might not always get brilliant, but they get better. This was was all very new, feeling like this. Studies have shown that children with depressed mothers have a heightened reactivity to stress. Mothers who are withdrawn leave their children to fend for themselves, and it actually changes the chemistry in the brain, the fight or flight impulse. But the real risk, as I'd perceived it, the real risk that I'd felt my whole life was that I would one day feel as though as my mom had and take the same action. I took Sam back home to meet my parents. They were amazing. They were fantastic. They were wonderful. It was awful. It made it seem like I'd exaggerated everything from my childhood. My dad made lasagna and played Cab Calloway records. My mom laughed a lot and told a story about breaking a guy's nose in Egypt. We drank a couple bottles of wine and sang songs at the kitchen piano. Mom always sang first, Ray Charles. Dad wouldn't normally sing, but this night he did. I'd never seen anything quite like it. Spectacularly, he sang, "Wake me up before you go." Which, because he'd never actually heard it before, sounded a lot more like, "Wake me up before you go." Sam sang the last song that night. Some Things Last a Long Time by Daniel Johnston. I'd not heard it before. Some things last a long time. It was the saddest, happiest song I'd ever heard. When she finished, we all sat in silence for a while. And then we all said goodnight. With Sam's encouragement, the list grew. 123,321.
Palindrome.
263,253.
The feeling of calm that follows the realization that although you may be in a regrettable situation, there's nothing you can do about it.
525,924.
Track 7 on every great record.
Sam and I got married. A year after university. Sam proposed. Got down on one knee, the whole thing. We were so happy. The sun shone every day. We moved to Charlotte. We got jobs, a car, a joint bank account, a cat who peed on everything then ran away. We called her Margaret Scratcher. We settled into a routine. We saw less and less of each other. We were tired. We argued. We argued about money. We argued about whether or not to live in the city or the countryside. We argued about whether or not we wanted to start a family. We had one argument in particular. And Sam suggested that I talk to someone. Professionally. I got so angry. I knew what depression was, and I knew I was fine. I had a study at home, and I'd sit in there, listening to records and reading through the sleep notes. Sam told me I was becoming morose, that I was isolating myself, wallowing. She suggested I carry on with the list, but I found it hard to notice new things. 826,978. 826,978. 826,978. The list ended. Just 173,022 short of a million. It was finished, so I boxed it all up and threw it away. I sat in my study while Sam packed her things. Helped her carry her boxes to her car. That horrible feeling when something is broken and can't ever be fixed. The trap door swinging open. I've been feeling like that for a long time. I watched her drive away. I did talk to someone. A group. A support group. Hello, everyone. This is my first session. I've resisted doing this, but I've realized that it's important to talk about things, particularly the things that are the hardest to talk about. When I was younger, I was much better at being happy, at feeling joy. But now, being grown, I'm not sure I can ever fully allow myself to be joyful. I'm not very good at it. I made a list. Everything that's brilliant about the world. I started it as a present for my mom, and it's kind of a long story, but I have it here with me. See, I threw it away, but unbeknownst to me, my partner at the time took it out of the trash and hid it in the garage, and you don't need to know the details. Peeling off a sheet of wallpaper in one intact piece. Mork and Mindy. My new sleeveless top. Old people holding hands. If you get to live a long life and reach the end of it without ever once feeling crushingly depressed, then you probably haven't been paying attention. I wasn't around for Mom's final attempt. There was a pad and pencil found next to her, but she hadn't written anything. I drove my dad to the funeral. We sat in silence. After the service, meeting my mom's friends and colleagues, I realized how much the list had changed how I see the world. Number 31.
Bird song.
Number 45.
Hugging.
577.
Tea and biscuits.
1092.
Conversation.
The list hadn't helped her. Hadn't saved her. Of course it hadn't. I got a text from Sam.
I heard about your mom. I'm so sorry. Give me a call. I'd love to hear your voice. Love, Sam. P.S. I heard the other day that Beyonce is related to Gustav Mahler. It's occurred to me that this is a fact that should be on your list. Truly a brilliant book.
I stayed with my dad for a few months after the funeral. We'd go out walking, sit, read, listen to records. When he'd fall asleep in his armchair, I'd sit at his desk and type up the list. Starting at the very beginning. Number 1.
Ice cream.
It was a lot of work. Several weeks of sleepless nights. When I reached where I'd left off, I kept going. 826,979.
The fact that Beyonce is Gustav Mahler's 8th cousin 4 times removed.
I completed the list. I printed it out and left it on my dad's chair and drove back home. He never mentioned it directly, but when we spoke again a few weeks later, he said, repeat after me. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you.
And I told him that sentimentality didn't suit him. 999,997.
The alphabet.
999,998.
Inappropriate songs played at emotional times.
999,999.
Completing the task.
1 million. Listening to a record for the first time. Turning it over in your hands, placing it on the deck, and putting the needle down. Hearing the faint hiss and crackle of the sharp point on the wax. Then sitting and listening while